Raids have always been a hot topic in the Warframe community, which long ago were actually a thing in the game, and there's some fairly die-hard raiders who'd love to see the team at DE take a crack at it again. Pablo was asked on yesterday's dev short about raids, and he expanded on it on his social media. I've linked a Reddit post in the description with screenshots from his posts, but let's quickly chat about it today. The major key takeaways for me, so yes, this is just how I'm reading it, and thus my opinion, are these three things. Firstly, raids just weren't as popular as people think that they were, with a similar player base to Conclave, which just isn't a lot of Warframe's community and thus would only be serving a small subsection of players for what Pablo describes as over 100 times more effort to maintain. Secondly, the community doesn't want balance, and balance is what's required for a raiding environment to exist, because for something like raiding to be an actual raid, it needs to have some level of challenge. And with challenge comes balance, and he's 100% right, most of the community doesn't really want that. Think of how many people scream to the heavens anytime that something gets nerfed. Seriously, the Warframe community really hates any concept of balance. Lastly, while this isn't spoken about very much by Pablo, he quickly mentions rewards, where until now, the Apex level boss fights like the newly released Guilty give only cosmetic rewards, not rewards that make us stronger, and I 100% understand and agree with why they do that. But there's a subset of players like myself who don't bother doing them because honestly, I'm personally not that big into glyphs or Sundalis, they aren't a priority for me, but I love that it's there for those who like the challenge and the cosmetics. But if you're going to be designing a raid, there's usually some kind of gameplay-based reward associated with them. Weapons, armor, trinkets, that kind of thing that have actual gameplay power. That's the chase of raids. Sure, you're doing it for the challenge and the experience, absolutely, but that gets solved after the first clear. You get the cinematic, you get the screenshot with your group, and that's the end of that side of things. You keep diving in headfirst screaming "witness me" because you want to prepare for the next challenge, and usually that's done with the gear that you earn in the current raid. Think of how well the community would take it if all of us creators started going wild for a weapon or mod that a very small percentage of players were actually going to have the willpower to farm. What's the replayability for raids if the reward isn't something like gear that makes you stronger? Sure, maybe there's different cosmetics that you can farm and get a different part of the cosmetics set each run or something like that. But if it's not cosmetics that you like or cosmetics for your Warframe of choice, what's the draw? What's the thing to get us to keep coming back each week? So while I would absolutely love some kind of structured raid or dungeon environment in Warframe, really I personally would love that because they were gone by the time that I got into Warframe and I'm sad that I missed them, but I agree with Pablo. It's probably not something that's worth the time investment into, and I honestly don't think it and the effects of them existing is something that most of you want at the end of the day. It sucks to hear, but Pablo's right. Now, Soulframe, on the other hand, I do think would be a great place for raids. Seriously, that game screams raid or dungeon environments to me. From balance to mechanics, they've already done puzzle-like dungeons and sieges, and don't even get me started on the theme of it. I think it would be super cool in Soulframe, because I really do think that Soulframe would be better for raids than Warframe ever has been or ever could be. But that remains to be seen if that'll ever come to be, so sub for more tips and swing by my stream if you need any help.